Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we are so pleasured, ma'am, that you are on this platform of Dorai Foundation. As the interns of our Dorai Foundation, we would like to know about you. Can you give you yourself an introduction?
Um, yeah, actually, more than me, actually, it is like Kimia's achievements that I would like to highlight. So I would like to, tell you Kimia's story. So this is, uh, you're able to see, yeah.
Side down of
Yes,
Kimia's.
Yeah, one sec. Yeah. Okay. So this is Kimya's story, and it is called the upside down story of Kimya. So
ma'am.
down, of course, is a pun because she is born with Down syndrome, and every down thing has an upside to it. So this is the upside down story. Okay. Now here you can see Kimya as a very laid back baby, when she was born, how she was, and here she is, how she looks now, you know.
Okay.
So I want to tell you the story of how the little caterpillar turned into a beautiful butterfly. Okay.
Sure.
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah. And anything else that you would like to know, you can interrupt me and ask me anytime.
Ma'am, just a
Okay.
little bit
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
Kimia, we
Yeah.
would like to know about you also.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah. I'll
give a
come to
little
that.
introduction about you, and
Yes.
then we
Yes.
can start with
Yeah.
Kimia's story.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll come to that because it will
Okay,
be a
okay,
part
sure,
of
sure,
the process. Huh?
Okay, ma'am.
sure.
Okay. Yeah. 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 Okay. So this is Kimia had decided to come after 13 years of marriage. So, it was a very big occasion. Like when I had given up all hope of ever becoming a mother, and then she decides to come. And then when the doctor breaks this news to me, it was, like a big come down because now I'll introduce myself. I was the PRO of state transport. I was the only lady branch head at that time. I'm talking of 35, 40 years back.
Oh
And
my God.
when I joined the state transport, and then after her birth, and like it was a very big achievement because being in a male dominated world, and like being able to handle everything. I had to handle the ministers, our programs with them. There were inauguration programs, there were bhumi pujan programs and stuff like that. And so then once I realized, that my child was born with this condition, and she needed me much more than anybody else in the world. So then I decided to give up my job. It was a very big decision because money was hard at that time. My husband was not so well settled. He's an advocate. He's doing extremely well today, but I'm talking of so many years back. So it was a tough decision. But then I decided, no, she needs me much more. So I gave it all up. And what didn't I have? Like I had a good job, and I had a loving family, a very nice husband, and he was the president, a national president of the Indian Junior Chamber at that time. So we were like, into a very glamorous world, and I would travel like everywhere throughout India. And of course, then I became pregnant, so I couldn't travel the world over. But he made a lot of trips abroad, and so life was like that, And then this was a big letdown. Ki I was suddenly so dazzled, so shocked. Ki what am I to do? Because we didn't know at that time, there was no awareness. So like my sister's a pediatrician. She said I'm able to handle, the illnesses, but this is a birth condition. So this is very difficult. Meaning it was not curable. Like you can't give some medicines or do some operation and then she's cured. There's nothing like that. You have to live with that condition. But then I read a lot of books. At that time, even I went to the libraries or bookshops. There were no books available on this subject. So
Down syndrome.
yeah. So from abroad, from our friends, we had to order for some books, and at that time things were not so easy. The books were shipped, and they came to me after a while. But then when I got them, I read them very avidly, and then I realized, like one step at a time. Like you can't aim like to cross the sea in one step. You have to go like crossing one wave after the other, that way. So it was quite tough. And whoever I met, then there was a parents group, pods parents of Down syndrome, based in Mumbai, where we are. And I joined that group. And I met other parents. So, I came to know a little bit more. They had older children. So then I saw them. And then I read an advertisement for special education. I didn't even know till then what is special education. And at that time, it was a 1 year course. And that time, it was called mental retardation. Now, nobody uses this kind of terminology. Now we say intellectual disability, or they
Yeah,
are differently
correct.
abled, or we use
Correct,
such
correct.
terms, or neuro diverse as against neurotypical. We use this kind of terminology, but anyway, at that time it was so. So that was a 1 year course, and that time Kimia was 1.5 years old. She was a very small baby, and she needed everything possible. She needed special therapies, like she had to have occupational therapy, she had to have speech therapy, she had to have physical physiotherapy, because she was a very laid back baby. She didn't have any milestones reached. Like at that age, children will walk, and they'll finish their crawling, and other things, they'll start babbling, they start talking. But Kimia had not reached any of these milestones. She was like, very, with a very low muscle tone, means like a rag doll, कि जैसे कि कुछ there are no bones, there is no rigidity.
Yeah,
That way her body was. So we had to work on all those things, and everybody made fun of me, including my family members, the elderly people in the family. They said, "What is this? Have you gone mad or something? You want to join a school?" Because the course was going to be held in Dilkush School, where it is a special school where special children study. So they said, "What is wrong with you? You're going to leave this baby who needs you so much. And you're going to leave her at home and then do a 1 year course." At that time, it was 1 year. Now they made it even 2 years. But then it was a very long time, 1 year, to leave the baby and go for the classes and attend whatever. But then I was quite determined, because I said, I want to know कि क्या करना है. And then there, of course, it was such a wonderful decision, because I met therapists, I met psychologists, I met psychiatrists, I met doctors, I met therapists, and education people who are in the educational field, special educators, etc. So it was a very big move ahead. Like I knew like what my baby needed and what I needed to do. Again, they had a very good library, so I could read a lot of books on this subject. So it was a very big opening. And yeah, hi Abhay. So yeah.
Hello,
So
Bhavika.
anyway, yeah, yeah. So that is it. And that's so it was one step at a time, So I want to tell you, कि whatever setback you face in your life, don't ever get defeated. There is a way. अगर ये रास्ता नहीं चल रहा है, try another way. Take a little diversion. Try another way. Maybe you have to take 2 steps backward. Also, you'll find another way from here. So use that.
also, ma'am,
And
I have
then
also I have
yeah.
also read many books about Down
Hmm,
syndrome,
hmm,
and
hmm,
I also
hmm,
have one of the disorders that I'm
hmm.
hyperhidrosis. I have hyperhidrosis. That means you get
Okay.
too much of sweat in your hands and in your
Okay.
legs. Okay,
Okay.
when you're sitting in any season, so I'm sweating right now also. Okay, so this was the condition I was
Yeah.
born with. This
Hmm,
cannot be cured, and I know
hmm,
this is really difficult for me sometimes to,
hmm,
when you
hmm.
shake hands with someone, it's very
Yeah.
cliche thing
Yeah.
that
Yeah. I
your
understand.
hands are always
Yeah.
sweating and you
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
write properly, your pages are
Yeah.
wet, when you're writing your page is whole
Hmm,
wet.
hmm,
So this is the problem I am facing, and
hmm,
my
hmm,
problem is nothing in front of you. My problem is just a little
hmm, hmm,
pebble, you can say, not even a
hmm,
stone.
hmm, hmm,
So now
hmm,
I want to know
hmm,
that
hmm,
we face every little sadness in our days, in our daily living things. So I want to know what brings you joy in everyday life.
hmm. Okay. Like those who attended the Sanskrit class today, we were having a class, and where we had given, like, of course, they had to talk in Sanskrit, and we asked each person, "Ki, what brings you joy?" So they said, I enjoy dancing and singing and whatever. Kimia said, I enjoy making earrings and stuff, or creative arts. And then when they asked me, I said, my joy lies in the joy of others. When I see such happy, bright young faces, I feel very happy. Shweta and Vikas and Abhay, the kind of work that you're doing and the kind of joy that you're spreading, it makes me so happy. So I find my joy in the joy of others, because I believe that I want to be happy and I want to make others happy too.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Basically, it's like a pleasure for us that everybody has their own pain, sorrow in everybody's
yeah,
personal life. But when we come to attend these sessions, we meet these children and we feel that our things are nothing in front of you people. So
yes,
it brings us joy
yes, yes.
when we see you people.
Very true. Very true. Very true. So, when people tell me, ki, okay, like, Kimya is doing so well and you have taught her so nicely. So I tell them, ki, actually, what I have taught her is nothing compared to what she has taught me. She is my guru. Because after her birth, like, there was such a big change in my whole life, in my personality. I was so short tempered, I was so impatient, but now I know that if I need something to happen, I need to wait for it. Like when I knew I'm so impatient, and I said, oh Lord, please grant me patience. And then I looked up at him and I said, oh, but give it to me now. So it's like that. So, um, and about my temper, I was the editor of my house magazine, and I used to write a series on self development. So once I wrote an article on, how to be calm and how to conquer your temper and stuff like that. So my husband cracked a big joke. He said, "Oh, your staff actually should frame this, and put it in your room itself, in your cabin, in the office, so that you remember this." So it was like that. But today I'm a much like calmer person, much more patient. And like these children will bring out the purity within you, because they are so pure hearted, they are so loving, so kind hearted.
Exactly.
So yeah, and they know how to give selfless love. See, we always have some kind of a selfish motive, ki, okay, I'll make friends with this one, because there is so much to learn from this person, that person, ye mujhe milega, wo mujhe milega. We always think of what our gain is. But the more you learn to give, the more you will get. That is, the law of causality. So jaise aap de do, वैसे आप कर भला तो हो भला. It's like that. The more you give, the more you will get. Yeah, so don't ever hesitate to give. Go anywhere with open arms and always give an offering. Okay, so
Okay.
then when I came to know, the baby is born with Down syndrome, and so yeah, so this is what she looked like. I had to wrap her, to keep her body straight. Otherwise, she would have her legs and all, and hands all in a crooked position. And then I did some research, ki how common is it, and what all happens. And treatment can help, but this condition can't be cured. Then they have a distinct facial appearance. Then the kind of treatment, the early intervention programs, and the therapies that I just mentioned, and the support groups also. And then I was very sure that I wanted her to go to a regular school, but which was not so easy. At least now there is some awareness, but at that time, people didn't know. And they just said, nee, nee, you have to put her in a special school. Even the parents who had older children, so who I was in touch with, they said, no, the normal schools are not going to admit your child. You have to put her in a special school. But I was quite determined. And uh, like if you make a determination and you walk that way, it has to be action oriented. ऐसा नहीं, कि okay, Lord grant me this, and then I'm just going to sit. Then God is not going to, give it to you in your lap. You have to make it action oriented. So I went to some nearby schools, and I had a lot of rebuffs. They all closed their doors, and it was very insulting. And it was a very big letdown, because I was on the highest pinnacle. As I said, very glamorous word with my husband, and then I was the boss, in my big boss in my office. And like mera mantralay mein aana jana tha, I used to sit and talk with the ministers and stuff. I was the editor of my house magazine. So everybody, like, looked up at me. And then to have people close the door in my face just because of this baby. So it was very, very difficult to accept. But I said, no, I will move on. I will not give up. There were times, when I would come home and I would just sit crying. It is so sad when I look back at it now. Because now I tell parents, Now when parents come to me for counseling, invariably the mother, she will start crying. And then I tell her कि do you think that your child is going to be cured if you cry? Then she'll say nahi 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 hoga. So then I say, when you know this, then why are you crying? Agar hota hai to you tell
You
me,
know, the
then I will
acceptance
also
is
cry
not,
with
you know,
you.
they are not ready to accept it how the
Yeah,
same thing
yeah.
is.
Exactly, exactly. And then they would only realize ki how foolish it was to cry. They would say, nahi, nahi, because when I would say, I'll also cry with you because my baby is also the same. So do you want me also to cry? So then, nahi, 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 aap nahi rona, and all that, they would say, and then they would wipe up their tears and all that. And then I say, okay, now you have to smile and we'll go ahead together, hand in hand, smiling, because it's a happy journey. Don't think that you are going to be very sad throughout because of this baby. Because once one parent said, कि when I realized this baby is born with this condition, abhi to mera zindagi khatam ho gaya, now my life is going to be so sad, like full of thorns, कि there are going to be no flowers on your path. So I said, no, it is on the contrary. You will have a lot of happy moments, which your neuro typical children will not give you. And sure enough, one mother shared with me, he the elder son, he says, well, he comes home, he goes to his room, he's on his phone, he's on his laptop, he's not bothered. You know, sometimes he'll just order food also for himself. He'll eat in his room and all. But the younger one, he will always ask, Mummy, how are you? Have you eaten? If I'm still sleeping, he'll say, Mummy, you're not well. I will give you some medicine and all. Means they are so loving, they are so caring, they are so thoughtful. They
They
are
are
not like,
selfless.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. That way. So then, uh,
Ma'am, I have
I
a
wonder,
question related to the
yes,
society
yes,
and community, ma'am.
yes,
How do
yes.
you feel society respond to children with special needs? Do you feel accepted or do you face any barrier around it?
Also I would like
Hmm,
to add in this
hmm,
question
hmm.
only, now the people are much more aware about Down
Yes,
syndrome,
yes, yes,
about this thing. So how
yes.
do you think that
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
society
yeah.
growing up together, or they are still
Hmm,
letting down
hmm.
people?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. See, so when year back when she was born, and then when I did this course, it was one step at a time. At that time, we didn't have acceptance. We didn't have friends in the building. We didn't have like a regular school for her and all that. But slowly, I decided, and I used to feel so bad, when people would turn around and look at her, or even the auto walas, they would look back and then ask me about her, कि इसको क्या हुआ है, या ऐसे क्यों दिखती है, and all that. I would, it would irritate me. And I would say, Arey, your work is to drive me wherever I've told you na, so why are you like, asking me all these questions? Means this would come in my mind. But later, I realized that today I am the knowledgeable one and they are the ignorant ones. So it is up to me to bring about that awareness. अगर आपको कुछ नहीं मालूम है तो I have to tell you and make you aware of that. So then I would patiently explain to them, okay, she was born with this condition and this is like this and whatever. And then they would come up with this, हाँ हमारे बाजू में भी ऐसे एक बच्चा रहता है, तो आप टीचर है, तो मैं आपका नंबर दे दूं क्या उनको? So I would happily give my number, and that is how I was able to spread. See, everything happens through a ripple effect. It is not one person's job. Today, I'm making three of you aware. Tomorrow, you will go and talk to 30 other people. They will go and talk to 90 other people. That way, this is awareness through ripple effect. And one thing, then I decided that because basically when I joined the course, it was only to help my baby. But then I realized, no, the world needs me. There are so many ignorant parents, so many children who need my help. So I said no. And even today, I offer counseling free of cost, whoever comes to me. Like whether he comes from a very rich family or a very poor family, they don't have to worry. कि आपके some of them will ask me very like hesitantly कि आप कितना charge करोगे, because nowadays this also has become a big business. People want to charge very high fees, just for a 45-minute session or a 1 hour session. So I said, no, you come, you sit for how long as you want, and I'll help you in every way. And I give each person a homebound program, because it is not just the mother. Very often, कि हाँ हाँ इसका तो मैं ही करती हूँ. it's not like that. So I have specific duties for the father as well. The father, of course, will be having a full-time job or will be out of the house, but when he comes home, what all he needs to do. And if there are grandparents, if there are older people, then they are not able to do physical running around with the child. But what they will do is they will read out some stories from Ramayana, Mahabharata, or teach some slokas, or teach some prayers, or whatever it is, that way. And then the siblings are like the child's age, so they can bring in their friends, they can play with the child. And like if they are saying no, sometimes there was a book written by a sibling, and it was called It's Not a Fair World, because it was so unfair on that sibling, to have this child, because the others would tease the child and that child would feel very bad, and this child was not taken into the picture when they would play or do any activity together. That is why. So then I explained to the siblings also, ki, no, you don't have to feel bad, you don't have to feel sad, because it's none of your fault. And in fact, you have to be proud that this child is a part of your family. And you have to tell them his plus points, that he's able to do this, and he plays with me and he gives me so much love, and he does not fight with me, and shares everything with me. Like there are so many plus points that these children as siblings have. So, and now, Kimia, now you have to tell them. So then I realized, and then I felt that was not enough. Talking to the whole families was also not enough. Then I had to talk to the community people, like the people who would pass by, the watchmen, or the children who are playing down. Like if I would visit somebody's building and they would keep looking at Kimia, or they would keep looking at that child who I was visiting
So, ma'am,
from that building.
do you agree with
Yeah.
this thing?
Huh,
Do you agree with this thing? As you said, people used to ask you and think
huh.
it, it always would not be to with the intention to let people down. It must be because they are not aware of it. So they must be just
Exactly,
because.
exactly. That's what. So, we should be non-judgmental. See, we as parents are very protective of the child. We don't want anybody to tease them. We don't want anybody, to look at them in a wrong way, that way. But then I realized कि नहीं, अगर आप मुझे कुछ पूछ रहे हो, means you want to know something about it. So I will also answer you in a straight manner without getting
But ma'am,
irritated.
see, everything has its pros and cons, okay?
Cons,
But
yeah,
some people are not aware of Down syndrome or any kind of diseases
yeah,
in this
yeah,
market.
yeah.
They are asking you in a genuine way. But some people are
Yes,
over here, they are just, trying to tease you.
yes, yes,
Okay, you have an
absolutely. See,
abnormal
you need,
child or you have a
yes,
special
yes,
child in
yes,
that
yes.
family.
See, it takes all kinds to make the world. So, but if you are straight, after a while, that person also will understand that, okay, I'm trying to put this one down, I'm trying to tease this one, I'm trying to, like, do something like not so healthy with in like verbal combat. But this one is not getting irritated, she's answering all my questions in a very calm manner, in a very informative manner, that way. So then that person also relents, because if I can rub a bit of my color on you, अगर मेरे में अच्छाई है और आप कितनी भी बुराई लेकर मेरे सामने आओ, but some of my अच्छाई will rub on you, so you will automatically, the better side of you will emerge, that way. Okay, so I just want to show you this also. Now, academics, how she mixed with everyone. And when the school, where she joined a regular school, the principal first asked me, ki, like, will she trouble anybody? Because if she's troubling, like, anybody or disturbing the class and all, then I will not have her in the class. So I said, no, I don't think she's a quiet child and she will get along with everybody, because Kimia loved friends to be with children in the school setup and all that. She'll be quiet. And I said, I'm not looking out for academics because I'm a special educator myself. What I'm looking for is the company of children which I can't give her at home. I want her to socialize. I want her to have friends, a peer group, you know like if you, when you sit at home, do will you have this kind of friend circle that you enjoy in your college life? You won't have that at home. So you are enjoying the company of all these friends around you. You can talk to them, at the same level, because you're the same age, and academics also, you're on the same level. So that you will miss if you are just sitting in the house. So that nobody can offer you at home. You can study on the computer, you can do self study, you can read books, you can do all kinds of things. But this kind of a social setup you will not get at home. So I told the principal, and then today the principal is a good, very good friend of mine, and now she has made the school integrated. She had the confidence to integrate it after Kimya was there in the school, and then so you can see, how well she's participating in all the activities and things. And I made it a point, to make her participate in the fancy dress and the dances. And also from the beginning, she was very fond of dancing. Yeah, yeah. She was, yeah. Yeah, she's become a butterfly and a circus girl here.
Okay, very beautiful. Okay, ma'am. So
Yeah.
here we come to the end. Lastly,
Okay.
the thing is,
Hmm.
as a mother, we would like you to conclude in just seconds, because the meeting is gonna end.
Oh God. Acha, I had a lot of things more to say, but then Kimya will say. So the aim is A. Tell them. Acceptance. Acceptance. We are looking out for acceptance. I. Inclusion. Inclusion. We want to be included.
Oh my God.
And M. Mainstreaming. हमें समाज के मुख्य प्रवाह में आना है. So these are the three things that we are looking for. And Kimya, tell them what you have. I have disability and not a disability.
Okay,
So
very
please
nice.
remember that.
Very nice.
Yeah. So whenever you meet somebody with special needs, remember this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for
Thank you.
your
Thank you
time.
so much.
Thank you
so
for
much,
coming
ma'am,
on
for
this
All the
platform,
best.
sharing your experience, sharing your hard work and love with us. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you.